Hello, Doctor Who Reviews. How do you do? It's Frezno Inferno on location in scenic Grand Bank, Newfoundland. It's a beautiful, slightly overcast evening, about to turn into night, and I am so invigorated, so incredibly overjoyed to be here, even as the vehicles go by. Yes, I'm so glad that once again, I have no obligations. None whatsoever. You're not going to get me like you did last time. You're not going to get me to go watch a 6-part serial starring Jon Pertwee. Not going to happen. No, sir. Not going to happen in a million years. Yeah, you're not going to have a beat where I come over this hill and I suddenly fall silent and then we cut to me watching the thing on a tablet or anything. I mean, how fucking predictable would I be if I did that? I just can't say no to you nerds, can I? Very well. Begin the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Doctor Who Reviews. This week we are looking at Jon Pertwee's final story, apart from a small cameo in Dimensions in Time. We won't mention that again. Planet of the Spiders from 1974. And because Frezno is on vacation and Kuchiri is dealing with something important at the moment, I'm joined by my one co-host. Please welcome back to the show, Sean Dillon.
Hello.
Hello, and thank you for agreeing to join me for this.
Yeah, I agreed before. I agreed a while back because some members of the podcast have issues with arachnophobia, which this episode heavily involves.
Absolutely. I hate to say the word trigger warning, but I'm going to say it. If you've got arachnophobia, this is not the podcast for you. I will not include close-ups of the spiders, but we'll need to talk about the spiders. The episode itself has a lot of close-ups of the spiders. So yeah, arachnophobes, please steer clear of this. I understand. I'll even put up a time code when we stop talking about the spiders. Because I'm nice like that.
Hmm.
So this is 6 parts. It didn't need to be 6 parts, but it is.
Yeah, you could really cut this down to 3?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Certainly 4.
3 at the very least gets you a second story, so...
True. There is that.
I guess they wanted a big 6-part finale for the last story of Jon Pertwee's time with Doctor Who.
Yeah, who was leaving mostly because of what happened to Roger Delgado, his very good friend. His tragic death in a car accident. And Pertwee decided that it wasn't fun on the show without his best friend, and who can blame him? So he handed his notice, and this was the result. And straight away when we start part 1, I don't know if it was on the version that you saw, Sean, but on the BBC iPlayer, the title sequence is different.
Oh?
Yeah, it's a different photo of Jon Pertwee being used.
I'm not as familiar with the Jon Pertwee era as other eras of Doctor Who, so I don't very well have a full grasp of what he looks like, what the different photos would be.
It looked like a more modern, like special edition type opening to me, but I could be wrong.
So they changed up the opening, but didn't change the effects of the spiders.
Yeah, if that's the case, then no. So maybe it was. I don't know, because to be honest with you, his last couple of stories aren't that good. You've got Monster and Peladon, which is not good, as good as Curse.
Invasion, which is certainly trying.
Yeah, we haven't covered either of those 2 stories yet, but we will. And I do like the fact that they don't give away the big reveal straight away. They just call the first episode Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Invasion, we have a return of a character that left the show in that story. Mike Yates. To cut a long story short, Mike went crazy for reasons that would be apparent when we actually do Invasion. Was dismissed from unit, and he's here at a Buddhist retreat to try and find himself.
Yeah, I think the closest explanation for why Mike Yates went crazy was in a Paul Cornell comic story that features the Third Doctor, or Joe Grant, the Master, and all the rest.
Well, I'm assuming he was manipulated, because that's unusual what happens when companions go rogue.
Yeah. Or they end up just deciding, okay, we need to bomb the entire Earth as the only solution.
That's also that, yes. Yes, the 70s sure were a decade.
Yep. As we can see with the opening of the episode, which is the Doctor and the Brigadier attending a variety show with a comedy act that is certainly no Bernie Clifton.
Is he Bernie Clifton, or is he trying to be Bernie Clifton?
I think he's trying to be Bernie Clifton, and he's failing miserably. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the variety show involves some degree of blackface.
Yeah, in fact, we don't actually see the show mercifully. We just hear it,
and it sounds painful.
It's not great. We get to see the Doctor and the Brigadier reacting to the various acts that we hear. They both look bored of their minds until the Turkish Bandit shows up, so they bring Pertz right up.
Yep.
You don't see anything, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, but again, this just feels extremely padded, you know?
I
get that we're introducing a psychic guy, but he basically doesn't impact anything after the first episode because he's dead.
Well, considering that the psychic doesn't even actually appear in the stage show on camera. We cut away after he's about to be introduced.
Yeah, like if you were going to pad out the episode, show us the act. Don't just have us learn about the act as it happens.
Show us the act and don't have them make a silly joke about Eureka. Yeah, I could be using Eureka. He didn't shout Eureka, he shouted I'm a streaker, which doesn't make any sense.
I do like the idea of the psychic as someone who is a performer and finds himself horrified to learn that his performance is coming true.
That's a cool character beat.
Yeah, it's...
I wish he was in this for longer than one episode.
Yeah, I think something similar happens in Alan Moore and A. Campbell's From Hell, where one of the characters chillingly goes, I made it all up and it came true anyways.
Yeah. I've seen the film From Hell, it's good.
I feel like the film would have been improved if it was a bit more Hammer, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it that it's Johnny Depp, but firstly, it wasn't known about him what came out then.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Johnny Depp can act.
He could act.
Yes. I mean, he's pretty good in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, the Ebenezer Scrooge film that seems to be coming out.
Oh, why does that film exist?
Best guess, I think there was going to be another Christmas Carol film directed by Robert Eggers, and they produced it as immediately to compete with that, but the Robert Eggers film got delayed so that he could do Werewolf instead.
The fact that they marketed that film with the name you know, the story you don't. Everyone knows A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, like, it's literally just a straight adaptation of A Christmas Carol based off of the trailer. Unless it's going to turn out to be a musical, which that sure worked out well the last time Johnny Depp did a musical.
Yeah, fair point. Very fair point. It's the most intense story in the world at this point, A Christmas Carol. What more is there to wring out of it?
We've already had the version of the ghosts make him a jerk with Blackadder.
And that was one of the best adaptations, actually. Because he started nice and became an asshole.
What do we need? I mean, like, I think the only thing that could work is if you had a multi-season show and had it as a clip show for that series.
Yeah, but it's really good. That it's like a humbug, Mr. Baldrick. And offers him a sweet.
Yeah, it's just...
And then at the end when he's become me, it's like, I have a present for you, Baldrick. It's a fist. And this keeps giving over and over and over again.
Yeah. God bless Blackadder.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to 70s television.
Yeah. Which was 70s television, so yes. A lot happens in this first part that we can sort of gloss over, but
yeah,
Mike's at the retreat. he stumbles across some men, the leader of which is called Lupton. There's also Barnes and 3 other guys that I neglect to remember their names. They're chanting to summon something on like a mandala, like a Buddhist mandala on the floor. And Mike stumbles into a spider's web, knocks over a candle. They don't notice this, and he gets out, but they do notice the open door.
I guess they were too focused on their meditation. Anyway, we meet the leader of the retreat, who is most assuredly not a white guy in yellowface.
Yeah, this is Choji, Tibetan monk, and I wonder why the fandom doesn't get so worked up about this character as they do about the toy maker in his original guise and the magician.
Best guess. I think the problem is that with at the very, I think the toy maker got some sort of iconic status from the fandom. So there's some pushback with that. And the magician appears in what is considered to be the best Doctor Who story ever by many fans. Whereas the Planet of the Spiders is not even anyone's favorite Pertwee story.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Mainly because Three Dogs exist.
It's very much in line with the long tradition of British mysticism, taking stuff from the non-British cultures and making it their own in ways that highlight how much they want to be an empire again.
They did in the 70s, certainly.
And one could argue they do now, given...
I would say some do and some don't.
Well, the guy who's running against Count Binface certainly does.
Yeah, I mean, that Binfest thing ceased to become a joke. Because if he wins, and he might, then he won't be able to stand as be in Parliament's Count Binfest. He'll just be John Parliament out of costume. And the whole point of Binfest was pointing out how ridiculous our system was by standing as the over-the-top character next to serious politicians.
Unless he actually somehow wins. Unless he somehow decides, fuck it, I'm going to keep going with the
I
bit.
believe Word on the Ground is that people are collecting their furious are being treated like a joke and he won't win. But we'll find out.
On the other hand, his competition is a literal joke.
I have some sympathy for the people of Clapton because they didn't ask for this by-election. And they said they didn't ask all these joke candidates to start standing. And they didn't expect all the other parties to go, we're not going to stand. And therefore give them no alternative but to vote for Farage. Or Binface. I mean, you laugh, but that's literally the choice they've got now, is vote Binface or vote Farage.
It is literally Kanger Kodos.
Yeah, and if they vote for Farage, then people will call them racist, not realising that they didn't have a choice.
Which is the history of democracy in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad he was on here to hear that, because he probably would have pulled me up on it.
Yeah, though Frezno might have pulled the clip from The Simpsons. I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Democracy doesn't work,
does not work.
That clip is evergreen, unfortunately. Anyway, we meet another character who is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. This was one of the reasons why I basically went, oh, fuck this episode.
Yeah, Tommy the Handyman. And not to put too broad a point on it, Tommy is depicted as a bit simple.
Have you read Flowers for Algernon?
I've never read it, but I know what it is. And this is absolutely Flowers for Algernon.
Yeah, but without the tragic ending. It's just... Yeah.
Yeah, he actually gets a kind of a good ending in this.
Yeah.
One would argue he worked for it.
Yeah.
Like he really worked hard for it.
I think the intention with the character was that he wasn't so much mentally neurodivergent as he was working class and doesn't have the education, but they kind of went too far on that front.
I don't see him as being on the autistic spectrum.
Yeah, personally. He's just like, they are heavy with his simple-mindedness.
They do go too heavy with it, but
Like,
he's not a
I
villain.
think
He's
in
not a
part,
henchman.
he's just a guy who's at the retreat. And I think in part 3 they have a bit where he struggles reading a children's book, which
Yeah,
it could work. Like, there's an episode of Inside Number 9 where a character is revealed not so much to be simple-minded because he's writing a children's book as having dyslexia and a struggle with reading and using the simpler format to help others read. But there's a degree to which they go, this character is simple and dumb and the crystal helps him be smart and normal.
Yeah, and dyslexia wasn't
The
really
use of
known
the phrase
about.
normal is fuck off.
In the 1970s, dyslexia wasn't really known about like we know it today.
Yeah.
So it's possible he had dyslexia, but I didn't see it like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's unfortunate that they depict him like this. It's even more unfortunate that he keeps getting bullied by one of the men, by Barnes.
Yeah.
The bit where he pushed him down and he crushed Daisy in his hand, that was really unfortunate.
That's just mean.
It is, but it's so that when he has his breakout moment, he's earned it, but still, he could have done it a different way. I mean, he's kind of the MVP in the last 2 episodes, in a way.
Yeah.
He takes those lightning bolts like a trooper later on. And that's another thing I have a problem with this, but we'll get to that when we get to the lightning blasts. So Professor Clegg has come to Unit HQ, and as you say, I like the twist that well, I'll keep your secret, Professor. You think, well, he's a fraud? No, that he really has psychic powers.
Yeah, it's a charming bit. I kind of wish he was in more of the episode, more of the story instead of being killed off.
He should have been, but sadly they kill him off at the end of part 1. Because Cyril Schnaps has to die in everything he's in, apparently. Everything I've seen him in, he's dead. He's died in. Spy Who Loved Me, blown out of the sky in a helicopter. Team of the Cybermen dies. This, he dies. And I posted in other things that he's died in as well. I can't remember. We get some tests on Professor Clegg, who says he's not really a professor, so Mr. Clegg. And we see Drashix in stock footage from the Carnival of Monsters. Because he can touch objects and then get information from them. And the Doctor's got this machine, the Iris machine, that can visualize it. So he picks up the Sonic and, lo and behold, Drashix, which he then freaks out at seeing. Originally, it was going to be footage from Invasion. They changed it because they thought the Drashix would be a bit more frightening.
They certainly were made with more money.
And he also levitates a tea tray with his mind, but he can't do it very long and it hurts him. Psychokinesis, Kyle.
Yep.
I do like the bit where Mike has gone to meet Sarah Jane and take her to the retreat, and then they run into a tractor. Which wasn't meant to be a tractor originally. In the first version of the script, it was a cow. A cow just appeared out of nowhere, and they drove off the road to avoid it.
Yeah, that makes more sense than a tractor, though it'd be funny if they were almost hit by a truck, which would have no doubt sent them to the past, where they'd have to fight various medieval figures, while Mike inexplicably gets a harrow.
Oh my god. I'm glad that didn't happen. Let's just say that.
Truck-coon strikes again.
We'll stick with the tractor, thank you very much. So the tractor was a mental projection conjured by Lupton and his men to kill them. It doesn't work. They get to the retreat. Lupton's friendly and he invites Sarah Jane to stay for tea. But Mike's like, no, you've got to leave. You've got to catch your train, Sarah Jane. He's like, what's going on? You couldn't wait for me to get here. Now you want me to leave again. I want them to think we're leaving, Sarah. And then they stay breaking over the wall.
Yeah, that is padding.
Yeah.
especially since they immediately get found out by the various people involved.
Well, first they
And
encounter
they
Tommy. They find Tommy, but he's friendly, so that's all right. And Sarah Jane lies to him, which is not all right. And says, "Well, we're playing a game, Tommy, so don't give us away." And then gives him her brooch off her outfit as a sign that she can be trusted. Then the scene where Joe sends the crystal from Metebelis III. We're going to hear that name a lot over the course of the next 5 parts. So strap in. So in the Green Death where Joe departed, she got married and the doctor did give her a blue crystal from Metebelis III as a wedding present. She now sends it back to be a plot device. And Clegg...
Yeah, I mean, there are some elements of thematic implications to this that if they actually honed them in, it could have made for an interesting story about the Doctor's own complicity within the colonialist project, but it doesn't because it's just padding.
Yeah. It is. I like the little letter that Joe sent with the crystal. I thought that was quite touching.
Yeah.
Because she addresses it to anyone at unit. So it's like the Doctor, or the Brigadier, or Mike Yates, or Sergeant Benton. And she's got like a little thing about all of them in the letter, and it's kind of touching. It's a shame she can actually appear in the story. She does make an appearance in the novelization of this story, but not on screen. And while they're reading this letter, Clegg touches the crystal. That's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea, because the room starts shaking, and then the crystal starts glowing, and he collapses dead. He's dead. Professor Clegg is no more.
Yeah, it feels very telling that the episode wouldn't have happened if Joe didn't send that crystal.
True.
Well, but at the same time, you could have still had the episode happen with Sarah Jane going, yeah, there's some real fuckery going about in this retreat.
And speaking of that, the cliffhanger is that they summon a giant rubber spider.
Yep.
Like I said, arachnophobes beware.
Yeah, I am actually quite charmed by the crappy special effects on the rubber spider. I'm always charmed by 70s special effects.
When they start making the spiders move, but it's just that they're kind of shaking the prop with a rod or a string.
Yeah, again, it's charming. Whereas if they updated the effects to be more on the standards of modern Doctor Who, basically make it look like the arachnids in the UK, it would look crap.
Yeah. Take note, Warriors of the Deep Special Edition.
Or for that matter, all the versions of Kinda and Snake Dance that changed the Mara to a fucking CGI effect.
The snake puppet was charming. Come on. Yes, it was nappy.
I'm sure there are some people who feel the same way about the colorization of the Daleks or the War Games that adds the Master's theme.
That's a little bit fan wanky, yeah, but I thought on the whole those projects were handled pretty well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah. I've not seen them, and I don't feel like I can bring myself to watch my favorite episode shortened down and colorized.
That's fair. I did watch it and I enjoyed it, but if you talk about the War Games, I appreciate that the 10-part version is a lot better.
Yeah.
They were always going to have to cut too much out. The fact that they gave Jon Pertwee a proper regeneration from Patrick Troughton was appreciated, however.
Though it does piss off all the season in 6B fans.
That's probably why I appreciate it. So part 2 begins with a guy getting blasted by a spider.
Sure.
Surprisingly, he's not dead. You would think with like 5 guys in this crew that they would at least kill off one of them before the end. And they did, but not the one you expect. or rather the ones that you think will die actually survive. And this spider can speak. And it can speak with... there are 3 voices created for the spiders in the whole of the serial. Maureen Morris, Izan Churchman, who was Alpha Centauri, and Kismet Delgado. And yes, that is Roger Delgado's widow.
Which one does Kismet play?
I think she's the one that's... She's either the... No, the great one is Maureen Morris. We'll meet her later on. I think Churchman's the Queen. And Kismet's the one that attaches itself to Lupton. I'll just check that while we talk. Because I don't want to give wrong information here. But the 3 are created as spider voices, so it's kind of hard to tell. And yes, Kismet was her real name. That wasn't a stage name. It just says that her main role was 8 legs, so it doesn't really say. It doesn't have their voices kind of similar to each other.
I think that was more due to the vocal effects that they were using for this one.
Yeah, the reverb.
Yeah, sort of a wobble in the voice.
Yeah, the wobble and the reverb, I think, is what makes them sound a bit more similar to each other. But this is like a recurring theme where this was Pertwee's last story, so they packed the cast with friends of his, or actually worked with on Doctor Who before. Like Cyril Sharps, like Kismet Delgado, like Izan Churchman. And I'm sure there are others. It's kind of like a farewell tour for Pertwee. A parting gift, if you will.
Yep. He even gets a big chase involving both Doctor Who mobiles.
Which was included entirely as a parting gift to Jon Pertwee. He loves cars, he loves chases. Let's give him a big car chase. He'll love it.
The shame the car chase is rather dull in terms of cinematography.
I know, that's such a shame, but we will get to that at the second half of part 2, because speaking of dull, we've still got more of this to go through. So, the Doctor looks at the last thoughts of Professor Clegg, and it's spiders. But there's no spiders inside the crystal, so that's the last thing he saw before he died, and they don't know why. Lupton now says he's never felt better when he's asked about what happened with the spider. It's on his back and it disappears into him. So the idea is that the spider has now taken him over or has merged with him in some way.
Which that doesn't hold up with the rest of the story where they unmerge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's still working for it, you're right.
Yeah, I feel like it would have worked better if it was like the episode of Justice League where Lex Luthor and Brainiac team up and they have a hybridized body, and over the course of the episode they merge completely.
Yeah. It's not like that, because they do separate freely and at will. But he still decides to go along with their plans, which is stupid of him. Where are we up to now then? Oh yeah, they can now communicate even though the spider's in Lupton. They send the Doctor looking into the crystal. There's a nice character bit here for Sergeant Benton where he volunteers to touch the crystal next because he's expendable and the Doctor isn't. The Doctor refuses him and thanks him for the offer.
Yeah.
And then the bit where the Doctor's in a trance. And what should bring him out of it but Sergeant Benton's coffee. And what's the reference here? Oh yeah. The coffee reminds him of the coffee made by Mrs. Samuel Pepys.
I have no idea who that is.
The wife of Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist. The Great Fire of London.
Wasn't that a Fifth Doctor story?
The Visitation, yeah. Where he actually causes the Great Fire to kill off the alien invaders.
One wonders if... I've not read the novelization, but I have to imagine that someone in there would be nerdy enough to have the Third Doctor appear.
They probably would, which is probably what's wrong with fandom. We don't have to have every Doctor have a cameo in another Doctor story.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Like, there is a comedy bit to be had where every single Doctor is appearing in the background of the Doctor Who story. So everyone is basically bungling into each other, trying to deal with the same issue.
I think you could do that once. And maybe like a Children Need Special or something like that.
Yeah, okay, now I'm thinking about it, that is probably just us Dimensions in Time.
Yeah, and again, we didn't need to have that. Who was that terrible woman?
Yeah. It's Ania Dobson!
Predating her appearance as the Roddy by about 22 years. No, wait, 32 years. I'm old. God, I'm old.
We all are.
Oh boy, I just turned to dust. Anyway, after the trance bit, there's another cute bit with Sarah Jane. She's back at UHQ. She's telling her story, her important story about Mike and the retreat, and the Doctor doesn't listen to a word she's saying because he's too busy examining the crystal. Until she mentions the word spiders. At which point his attention is wrapped and he has to repeat the whole story again.
And he just goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, they have a great. I know they're not partners very long, but they still had a great chemistry together.
Yeah, I feel like the dynamic there probably would have worked better if there was a higher degree of comedy involved, rather than there is comedic elements to it, but the comedy of the bit isn't as high as it could have been.
If it had been Joe, it would have been funnier. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Sarah Jane were going to have a great partnership with Tom Baker's Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do work well together. And now Lupton's here at UHQ for some reason. He takes out a guard with force lightning. No, I'm not being facetious. It just is.
Yeah.
You gotta love those from his fingertips. It predates Star Wars.
Love these Doctor Who special effects.
It predates Star Wars.
Hmm.
In fact, it predates Star Wars by quite a bit, because I believe that's how they used in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Return of the Jedi, but I think it's introduced in Return of the Jedi. Though I think Emperor Ming used it in one of the Flash Gordon serials.
It's possible, because they kind of made a big thing that he was the only one that could do the lightning thing in Return of the Jedi to make him a more unique and interesting villain.
And then every single Sith Lord can do the lightning power.
Yeah, Dooku and Dooku.
The various people from the EU.
I was thinking the EU, yeah, but on the films, it's just Palpatine and Dooku for some reason.
And Snoke.
Oh no, I'd forgotten about Snoke that he could do it.
Yeah, I think it was more just a bit, and then the reveal of Rey Palpatine is she can also do the lightning powers.
Yeah. So basically, everyone can do it, which makes it not special anymore. Also, I forgot about Snow, but so did the writers.
Yeah, I occasionally think about Star Wars, or is that I really need to stop thinking about Star Wars? There are more interesting things to think about.
The first trilogy was excellent.
It was mostly good.
It was mostly good, yeah. Empire still holds up as an amazing film by itself.
The second trilogy of the prequel trilogy is, I get it, but also it just doesn't fully work. And the third one is a hot mess.
The second trilogy, the prequel trilogy, is not offensive, but it's also not as good. And the best film of those three, by far away, is Revenge of the Sith. And the new trilogy is, as you rightly state, a hot mess.
Yeah, there are two films that work, and the third one that shits the bed.
Yeah, I mean, 7 sets of 8, and then 9 rejects 8.
Yeah, a lot of people want to say that 8 rejects 7. No, it pays off stuff that happens in 7.
Yeah, it doesn't reject 7 at all. It builds off of it, but there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff made those films a hot mess.
Such that none of the behind-the-scenes stuff has ever been released directly.
We just know indirectly it's a case of too many cooks yet again.
Yeah. You can tell how riveted we are by Planet of the Spiders by virtue of how often we are going into tangents.
You're right, but what else is new for this podcast? So Lupton's at unit, he's blasting guards with Force Lightning, he's blasting Benton with Force Lightning, he's stealing the crystal by teleporting it into his hand. Again, it's not really explained how they can do this. Psychic powers, just go with it.
Yeah.
It'll be ever quicker if we just go with it, sure.
Yep.
Then there's
it's not even interesting to poke at why this is our crap, but whatever.
There's a bit of wasted exposition here where the doctor talks about how last time I was on the planet, there were no giant spiders on Metebelis III. So where did they come from? We do get an explanation, but it doesn't really factor into the conclusion that much. There is a cute little scene after this where Sarah Jane's like, look at me talking about aliens and you know, it's as normal as Liverpool in the FA Cup and fish and chips. I like that. I like the fact she's become accustomed to it.
Yeah, just realizing that the universe is utterly insane.
Yeah, we're talking about planets and aliens and giant spiders, and it just sounds normal to me, Doctor. Then Benton gets assaulted, having just been blasted as well, when Lupton tries to get out. And now we get the big chase. And it is a big chase. It takes up half of the episode.
And it's dull as dishwater.
It could be a lot better. So,
like, the camera is always head on with this.
Lupton gets well, it was never called the Hoomobile on camera. We have to talk about this damn hovercraft. So, it debuted in Invasion, and Jon Pertwee actually owned it. It was his actual vehicle. He had it built for himself, and then convinced the producers he could use it to promote the show, which he did. He appeared on Blue Peter in the car, and then he appeared in of all things, Billy Smart's Children's Circus, an episode of that TV show, where he helps the girl. I think it's Arabella Smart, look for her missing dogs. Because she had a dog out.
It's telling that of the two Who-mobiles that appear in Doctor Who, the one with the most nostalgia for is Bessie.
Which he also owned.
Yeah.
It was his car. And Bessie's in this chase as well, but this Billy Smart's Children's Circus thing is included on the DVD for Invasion. Because that was the debut of the Who-mobile. Which, as I said, never got a name in the actual show. It's only in that story and this story, and then it gets retired, because Jon Pertwee gets retired as a doctor, so no need to have it anymore. Yeah. And not nearly as iconic as Bessie, so it doesn't come back.
Yeah, it's just utterly silly.
It is.
Yeah. Like, it's silly. Like, there are times when Doctor Who is very silly, but yeah, it's just not interestingly silly.
Pertwee loved gadgets and loved vehicles. It's well documented. So this is right down his alley.
I'm just wondering what Pertwee did Pertwee ever work with Paul McGowan?
I don't know.
Because that feels like it'd be a delightful pairing.
Do you mean Paul McGann?
No, the prisoner.
Patrick McGowan.
Patrick McGowan, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. You don't need to apologise. You don't need to apologise. But yes, they would be an amazing pairing together. And no, I don't think it ever happened. Because McGowan was mostly in America at that point. And Pertwee was in the UK.
Though the prisoner was ITV.
It was. But Jon Pertwee was doing other things at that time. And then McGowan went to America to appear in among other things, an amazing Columbo story called Identity Crisis.
He appeared in multiple Columbo stories that were all
he was terrific in all of them. The first one is not that great just because it's set on an army base, and I didn't think that was a very, very interesting use of his talents.
I think that's the last one, actually.
That's the first one. The last one is set in a funeral home.
Oh, right.
Ashes to ashes.
Yeah, because he gave him old man makeup for the military one.
They gave him a bit of old man makeup. Yeah, he's terrific in it, but I just think the story is not as interesting as the other three he's in.
Yeah.
So this chase goes on a long time. I'll try and sum it up as best I can, as quickly as I can. Lupton takes off in the Whomobile. Team Unit and Sarah Jane get after him in Bessie, while the Doctor gets into a gyrocopter that's conveniently there for some reason. There's a long chase down the road with the Doctor coordinating in the gyrocopter. Then he lands the gyrocopter. Then they speed past a policeman, and he joins the chase.
Again, it feels like it should be more chaotic than it is.
And then he stops them and tries to ask them why they're speeding, allowing Lupton to steal the gyrocopter. So the Doctor and Sarah Jane now get over after him in the Whomobile, which can now fly apparently.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Why not? And then the policeman's like, "You're not going to believe what I've just seen, Sarge." When Benton and the Brigadier just walk away from him. And this is where we talk about behind the scenes, and this is an interesting thing that happened, also a dangerous thing that happened. This chase was not very well choreographed because the actor that played Lupton got his jacket caught on the propeller blade.
Oh boy.
He was okay. It cut into his jacket, but thankfully he was okay.
If I had a nickel for every time a story involving Bessie had an actor almost get seriously injured, if not killed, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
I mean, there were some dangerous stunts in the 70s.
Yeah, but the other one was in the late 80s.
Oh, what was that one with the vehicle?
Sophie Aldred nearly died.
Oh yeah, that was in the tank of water. Yeah.
But it was also in a story featuring Bessie.
So it was. Sorry, when you said, I thought you meant a vehicle. Yeah. Featuring the vehicle. Got it. Yeah, featuring Bessie. So then the gyrocopter's running out of fuel, so end of chase, right? No! Because now he lands it and steals a goddamn boat!
Please kill me. Like, this is the point in the story where I was just going, oh god, I just want this to end.
So now the Doctor, without Sarah Jane, because I think she stays behind for some reason, gets on a hovercraft and borrows it. It's not theft. The owner was unconscious. That's how it works, right? That's how it works, right? The owner was unconscious and you didn't knock him out. That's not theft. As long as you return it later. Yeah, that
certainly is the English way of approaching things.
If you returned it later, I think the guy would probably understand, because he'd just been assaulted by a gentleman. So they continue the chase over the water. The Doctor then cuts across the land to catch up. James Bond sees this 20 years later and was and things. That's a good idea. And the Doctor then runs over a tramp. Because we have to get stuck with Stuart Fell a credit on camera, I guess. That's who this was. This was Stuart Fell, long-time stuntman on Doctor Who. He played things like Sontarans and Sidemen and unit soldiers falling off stuff. And yeah, so we get a comedy bit here where he runs over a tramp. The tramp is fine. It doesn't hurt him. He just sits up looking shocked. I mean, I wouldn't want to get run over by a hovercraft myself, but I believe because of the way it works, as long as it didn't stay on you, you wouldn't be harmed. But I would not want to risk it because it floats over the ground, so the weight wouldn't actually go on you.
Yep,
I believe. Anyway, the chase mercifully finishes when the Doctor boards the boat, only to find that Lupton has disappeared.
Bum, bum, bum.
And he's teleported back to the retreat, but of course Tommy sees him arrive. And then some weird stuff on Metebelis III, where Lupton's mind is transported there by the spider on his back. And we see this council of spiders, or the 8 legs as they're now referred to. It's very Animal Farm, this, isn't it? 8 legs good, 2 legs bad. that was the first thought I had immediately. That they were riffing on Animal Farm. And this conference scene is a bit strange because you can just see Lupton's head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just sorry. This is the point. The episode 2 was where I checked out. So at this point, I'm just going, yes, sure, why not?
I'll put it on my shoulders and run with it. Don't worry, Sean.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. Put me in the game.
Yeah, I mean, then Tommy steals the crystal while he's being distracted by Barnes and blah 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 blah.
He takes it because he thinks it's pretty. He puts it in a shoebox in his cupboard. Yes, he has a cupboard under the stairs. Oh,
God, kill me.
Yeah. We also get the Doctor meeting Cho Yi for the first time. This will actually be important later on, believe it or not. But here he's just like, I can't believe that Lupton would be involved in something evil like this. Great.
Captain Lupton explaining that he wants to be, because he's evil because he was turned down for a job.
That's actually his motivation, isn't it? He wants power because he was turned down for a job.
Which, if Robert Holmes was writing this, I'm sure would be hilarious.
Whereas the other people that are working with him actually did come here to try and get some peace. They did. They didn't sign up to become goons and henchmen, but they became goons and henchmen. I feel like there's like an employment queue for goons and henchmen somewhere. Anyway. Yeah, you're right. Tommy is taking it. Yeah. Tommy is taking the crystal. He gives it to Sarah Jane, or wants to give it to Sarah Jane as a present.
But she's too busy to listen.
Yeah. Oh, there's also the scene where he's arguing, Lupton is arguing with the spider. And the spider then inflicts like mental pain on him, but then he realizes, I can reverse it back. Uno reverse card, bitch.
Yeah, which, sure, why not?
Which they then forget about when he gets tortured again in part 5. He can turn it back on the spider again, and just doesn't. He just takes it. Like, I obey.
Yeah, you feel like they probably should have built up on that, had him use his psychic powers on the spiders and try to take over them, whether successful or not. That seems like something that you would do with this concept, but
yeah,
I guess they forgot what happened 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, and after this, the scheming Joe decided, well, we'll work together, and then the crystal's missing. Oh, we'll just tell the Queen we got it anyway. We'll bluff her. We'll bluff the Queen of the Spiders. Why not? This will not end badly at all for us. So Lupton then goes to Metebelis III, transported by the spider.
And Sarah Jane joins him.
She does. She steps onto the mandala and inadvertently gets transported with them.
But she ends up somewhere else with a bunch of villagers who are none too pleased to see this stranger who is most likely a spy for the spiders.
Except she isn't. But yeah, we meet Tuar. What's the other guy? Sabar, is it? No, Sabor. Neska is his wife, and there's a sister, I think Rhaegar or Rhaena. They're not that interesting characters, unfortunately, so it's not really worth learning their names.
Yeah.
Apart from Arak and Tuar, who do stuff.
Yeah.
Sabor's supposed to be a nihilist, and Arak and Tuar to drive the action.
Yeah, a lot of them are basically just stock cavemen in a caveman story. You got the one who is suspicious, the one who is brave and noble in English, the girl ones.
Yeah.
Do we have a traitor one?
No, the guards are Quislings, but I don't think they were part of the village.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about the chroma key. Good God, this is awful chroma key.
Yep.
When Sarah arrives on the planet, you can see she's tearing through the background.
Yep.
I know it's the 70s, but come on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think of if any other. Surely the quality of chroma keying on the 3 Doctors was better than this.
It definitely was. That's why I don't give it a pass. Oh, come on, man, it's the 70s. It was just in its infancy. No. Other people did chroma key better.
Hell, you literally showed clips from Carnival of Monsters.
Which did the chroma key better. Exactly.
And also had Harry Sullivan.
Who is referenced in this. Despite that he's not a character until Robot, but he is referenced in this when he talks to the medical officer, the Brig does himself and says, Sullivan. I guess they got the idea for his surname from that. Because originally it was supposed to be Sweetman, but they changed it. Harry Sweetman just doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who's actually called Harry Sweetman. I mean for the character. I don't say it's a bad name.
Yeah, it just lacks the patter of the name.
It doesn't sound like it belongs to an imbecile.
Harry Sweet is an imbecile.
Harry Sweetman is an imbecile. Just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well, does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't. But the Doctor gets back into the plot now because Tommy turns up and after being ignored for about 2 minutes, shouts that Sarah's in the cellar and Lupton's gone in the cellar as well. So the Doctor goes off to the TARDIS to try and save Sarah, Jane. Mike will stay behind to see what he can do in the retreat, see if he can help. We're basically just splitting up our main cast here because, that's what we do here. And then we meet the Queen of the Eight Legs, and oh boy.
Yeah.
So we got trumpets. The Queen is carried in on a divan or a sedan, like a luxury seat. A guard speaks for the Queen, demands that Aram be surrendered to them because he attacked a guard and left him for dead. Never mind that the guard was being cruel to a woman, that doesn't matter. I think they call this guy Draga, which is way too good a name to be wasted on a character that doesn't even appear. But he's to be tried for this crime. Sabor then comes out and tries to reason with the Queen. Good luck with that. The best of luck with that one there, buddy. Predictably, the Queen does not listen to his pleas, and she takes him in his son's place. I said her son's place then. His son's place when he lies and says he's fled to the mountains and he's not here. He is in fact hiding in the house just 200 meters away, but they can't see him.
They do see Sarah Jane, however, who immediately surrenders.
Yeah, she's trying to save the family. She's doing the noble thing. At which point the Doctor arrives.
And gets shot.
Yeah, he tries to talk to the Queen and reason with her. She then realises that he's come from Earth and therefore she wants him. We get a bit of Venusian Aikido one last time because why not? This really is Jon Pertwee's farewell tour. And then he gets shit blasted by the captain. Who could also shoot Force Lightning because why the hell not? Is it implied that these guys were also controlled by spiders in them? Which would explain why they could do the lightning thing. Because Lupton can do it because he's possessed.
I think they have some sort of crystal stick that lets them do lightning shit.
Yeah, but in this cliffhanger, he literally just shoots it out of his fingertips. Did they just forget?
I wouldn't be surprised. The story is crap.
Unfortunately. I wanted it to be good.
Yeah,
I like Jon Pertwee. I really like Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. He deserves a better send-off than this.
He deserved a better season than this, where the only good episode is the one that introduces the potato heads.
That's true. Oh, that's going to be fun when we get to those stories. Then another unfortunate bit with Tommy at the start of part 4. So, the men that aren't Lupton, because he's now gone on to Metebelis III, are scheming in Barnes' room. They put out a do not disturb sign. Mike's trying to eavesdrop on them, doesn't get caught. Tommy is just cleaning. He's not spying on them, right? He's not loitering. He's doing a job, but they catch him. They think he's spying, and if you come in again, I'll beat you, boy. And he can't read the sign that says "Do not disturb." Again, it's unfortunate.
The Doctor Who is dying, but he's okay. A-ish. Enough to be alive.
The art of dying brings him to life, you could say.
Yeah, you feel like they probably should have had this be, I'm thinking about the Caves of Androzani, which is unfair. It's the Caves of Androzani, and this is the fucking spider episode. So, you basically have the Doctor die in the first episode.
I mean, you make a good point, because first Doctor's regeneration story, 10th Planet, actually pretty good.
Yeah.
War Games, phenomenal.
Literally my favorite Doctor Who
really
story.
Good.
Legopolis is really good. Yeah. Caves of Androzani, the best Doctor Who, arguably the best Doctor Who story ever.
Arguably the best classic Doctor Who story ever, at least, yeah.
The Doctor Who TV movie. Well, anyways.
Yeah, well, you even skipped over another one, which was Time in the Rani.
So, anyways.
But that doesn't really count, because Colin Baker was fat. It wasn't like a true regeneration story.
Yeah.
That doesn't really count.
Yeah, but here, it's just, this is the only bad, I think this is the only bad classic Who regeneration that wasn't because the actor did not want to be involved. I
think you're right. I actually think you're right.
This is just flat out because the script sucks.
Which is a real shame.
Post-regeneration stories, he's,
Yeah.
Oh, but this one this sucks. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I mean, it's not good, but I wish it was better.
Yeah, like when we return to Tommy, that's the moment where I go, fuck this episode, I'm done.
Again, I don't hate the character of Tommy, I just hate what they did with him.
Yeah, because that's what happens in this episode.
Yeah, so I should also mention that the actor that played him was new to TV, acting on TV at the time. And he liked to ad-lib because he was a stage actor. And that's what they do. And there's quite an amazing story that he took a taxi down to Television Centre. But he did it in character as Tommy. And the taxi driver thought there was something wrong with him. So he informed the guard and said, I'm dropping this guy off and deal with him. And then the actor said, no, look, it's okay. Nothing's wrong. I was just in character, and the guard let him through. But that's commitment to the bit.
Yep.
Like method acting, but taken to another level. But yes, he can now read because the crystal flashes, he collapses. He survives it, unlike the poor professor did in part 1. He can now read with ease, but he can't understand the words. Which...
Sure.
Is this also in Flowers for Algernon?
No, Flowers for Algernon is... if I'm remembering Flowers correctly, he understands the words, and it brings him no joy.
So a different drawback.
Yeah, all the joy. He understands too much. He understands so much he can't relate to people, and it makes him miserable, leading to him to self-exit.
Yes, and also he actually loses the ability to read before that happens.
Oh yeah, right. He just as he's about, it brings him no joy, but also, upon finding out that he's going to be returning to his previous mental state, he can't live with that existence.
And self-exit.
Yeah.
We then get a subplot with the brothers, with Eric and Tuar. So Tuar is very aggressive and thinks they should attack the mountains where the spiders live. Eric's like, we won't survive that. Tuar calls him a coward.
Eric points out that there are literally 2 guys who have no psychic powers.
Yeah, Eric's the sensible one here. Tuar's an idiot.
Yeah, unless part 6 reveals, they actually do have psychic powers and can shoot lightning too.
Yeah, because we needed that for sure. We needed that little correction. Also, I should point out that Eric is played by Gareth Hunt, and this was cool because I didn't know he'd been in Doctor Who before watching this.
Okay.
he would go on to star in the New Avengers. With
does he play
Whitney and
Spider-Man or does he
Joanna
play
Lumley.
Spider-Man or Wolverine in that?
No, not that Avengers. British TV Avengers, ITV Avengers.
Right, with Emma Peel and...
Yeah, but this was the New Avengers with John Steed and Purdy, played by Joanna Lumley.
Joanna Lumley, one of the best Doctor Who's.
She is a national treasure. She absolutely is a national treasure. I will hear no slander about Joanna Lumley whatsoever. I'm not saying yours was slander, but she is fantastic. So Sarah Jane proves to be braver than these two guys at first, because there's a curfew now that if they are spotted outside, they just get killed. They'll just be killed. But Sarah sneaks past the two guards. I mean, it's not hard to sneak past these two idiots, quite frankly. I see better turning circles on the guards from Metal Gear Solid. She gets to the TARDIS. Yep. She's there to grab something the Doctor needs to recover. And she gets it. It's immediately caught by Lupton. Where the hell did he come from?
Yeah, though I will say it does track with the Metal Gear Solid comparison, given that Sarah Jane ultimately hides in a box.
She does. Also, please don't tell me you're comparing Lupton to Psycho Mantis.
I mean, inexplicable psychic powers that don't fully make sense.
That's really unfair to Psycho Mantis. Anyway, we get a William Blake reference of all things with Tommy. When he goes to the library, he can read poetry now and finds it beautiful. He reads from Tiger Tiger.
Yes, the most obvious Blake reference you can make with things. You might as well... Honestly, kind of surprised that he didn't quote the bit about seeing the universe in a grain of sand, which would have been more thematically apt to the supposedly Buddhist themes of the episode.
It would have, but also Tiger Tiger is a very popular poem to people in using TV shows. It popped up in The Mentalist for crying out loud.
Everyone quotes Tiger Tiger.
I mean, it's an iconic poem. So I can understand why, but yeah. He reads from Tiger Tiger, but he can't understand the words. He just knows that they're beautiful, so he wants to try and find Mike to tell him, explain these words to me, please, Mike. He's innocent. He's completely innocent. I don't want to bag on him too much, because it's not his fault. And then we get the scenes with Sarah Jane being imprisoned with Sabor, who is remarkably calm for a man who's about to be devoured by 8 legs.
Yeah.
Because he's just given up. He's like, oh, there's no hope of us being rescued. Once you accept that, it's actually pretty easy. Oh, guess I'll die now. And then what else do we have here? Mike tries to talk to Barnes, gets knocked out by one of the men. I don't know which one it is. I think one's called Kiva, one's called Moss, one's called Land, but I couldn't tell you which one was Kiva, Moss, or Land. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the Doctor gets cured because of his science stuff, which, again, compare with Caves of Androzani, you kind of wish that there was a ticking clock.
I also kind of wish it'd been the mutton broth that brought him round and not the device.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting, I think. But the mutton broth does serve a purpose to the plot because it shows that these villagers are shepherds. They have sheep with them. The Doctor is surprised at the sheep on this planet. They grow it for the spiders, for the 8 legs to eat. But sometimes they just eat the humans instead.
Yeah.
And we then get a sort of a joint explanation scene, like dual explanation scenes, because you got Sabor's talking to Sarah Jane, while Arak and Tua are talking to the Doctor, and they say the same thing. The spiders came from Earth originally. The crystals on the planet made them grow in size. They're colonists or descendants of colonists.
This raises several questions about the cosmology of Doctor Who. Like, were the spiders related, engaging with the Silurians?
I've no idea, but
there's a very comic beat involved to be had where the various spiders, the Silurians are doing battle before humanity was even born. Or you got Silurians with lightning powers.
Oh my god. No.
What killed the dinosaurs? The spiders!
No. We were doing so well too. We were doing so well. Anyway, what's the magical MacGuffin that will prevent the spiders from killing people? Stones! Stones.
So they just throw a rock at them.
No, they wear them on their heads. No, I'm not joking. The stone can block the force lightning, so in part 5 they strap it to their heads. It does actually save Eric's life at one point. Begs the question why when he doesn't take the blast to their head, but never mind. I guess maybe like it draws it upwards to the stone like a lightning rod.
But where does the lightning actually hit?
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, because if it hits the stone, that's one thing. But if it's hitting his chest, but it does nothing, then what the fuck?
I can't remember if it hits his chest or it just gets drawn into the stone. It's not interesting enough to remember, unfortunately. There is a cute little cliffhanger, though, where the Doctor's gone off to find Sarah Jane. He's got his device. He uses that to block the lightning. Lupton then shows up and says to the guards, kill him, but another guard says, no, you're under arrest instead. Another Una reverse card. So he's taken away to be presented to the Queen of the Eight Legs. The Doctor tries to leave and is also captured again. And I think he speaks for us when he says, now this is just getting monotonous.
Yeah.
Self-aware Doctor Who is the best Doctor Who. Except not really. I do like the cliffhanger though. It's a cute comedic bit. Sarah Jane's in the cocoon in her cell. She sees the Doctor. She's like, Doctor, you're alive! And then he signals to her. There's 2 guards behind me. Oh, Doctor! It's cute. It's humorous. I'll take it at this point. So part 5, which starts with a trial for treason, kind of. Because, oops, the spiders found out that the crystal is not on Metebelis III. It's on Earth. And Lupton's like, yeah, well, I never said it was on Metebelis III. I just said I had it in my possession safe. I didn't actually lie to you. The council is now
As he
turning on the
continues to
Queen.
lie.
Yeah. The council is now turning on the Queen. So the Queen's like, okay, I'll go and consult the Great One. And the Great One says, it doesn't matter what your opinion is!
This would have been the good moment to have him shoot lightning.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just? It doesn't happen. Anyway, the Doctor is now in a cocoon as well. More exposition about the spiders arriving on the planet after the Doctor had left. Sarah's cut out of the cocoon by the guards to meet the Queen for some reason. Meanwhile, Arachnophobes and the other men in the village are heading for the mountains. They've got the the stones strapped to their heads. So they're going to go and help the Doctor and leave the women behind, as you do. And then a Houdini reference again. I like the fact that he can't remember his name initially. He's like mentioning different surnames that begin with H. And they go, no, that's not it. Houdini, Harry Houdini. So he wriggles out of the cocoon. He says, don't worry, Sabor. When I've got Sarah Jane back, I'll come back and free you. Sabor doesn't believe him. He thinks he's still
Nor
doomed.
should he. This is Doctor Who. He'd probably get distracted by 5 other things and fall into a pit.
Well, he already got one man killed in this. Admittedly, not intentionally, but he's still got a man killed in this already. And then the Queen with the obvious double bluff here, where she's talking to Sarah's like, look, I don't agree with the Council's plan to invade Earth, even though she proposed it in part 3. We all saw her propose it in part 3. This is obviously a villainous ploy, but Sarah Jane falls for it.
Is this better or worse than the vision in Spaceballs where she sees her dad?
Oh, worse, because that's at least played for laughs.
I can't believe you fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, that's funny. This is not funny. It's just tiresome.
Yep, I basically have no memory whatsoever of the next 2 episodes.
Also, the "fool you" is iconic.
Yeah.
And we don't have an iconic line in this. I can fill in the blanks for the next 2 episodes. So, I don't believe the Queen for a second, but Sarah Jane does, so that's going to play out later on. We're back at the retreat, and Mike's bound and gagged in Barnes' room. They're waiting for Lupton to come back. They want to open the gateway to get him back, but they only have 4 of them. Mike says, well, look, I'll make up the 5. I'll help you. I want to get Sarah Jane back. Why would I betray you when I want to get my friend back? So they agree to let him help, and they do open the gateway. They do. And the spiders start going through it. So they can possess the people that are there. They choose not to do this to Mike. They blast him. They also blast Cho Ji, because, yes, he's still around. Unfortunately. Yep. And Tommy trusts Cho Ji, because when he hears Mike talking with Barnes, he goes to find Cho Ji and hides the crystal. Again, this is important for part 6. Because he definitely hides the crystal, and we never see him go back for it. But the next time we see the crystal, it's not where he left it.
Did someone take it, or was it just not there?
I think it's that teleportation thing again. And then we're going to see that should really feel important. More important than it is. Because the Doctor suddenly stumbles upon this cave. He's following Sarah Jane's voice that's calling to him. Oh, also, this is the bit where Lupton gets hit by the mental pain by the spider and doesn't inflict it back. Because they don't go with his plan, they go with his spider's plan and the council's plan, and then they torture him until he obeys. But he doesn't realise that he could do it right back to her, even though he did it 2 episodes ago. It's almost like they were different writers at this point, but I know for a fact they weren't.
Yeah.
It's the same writing team that wrote part 1 did part 6. And as I said, the scene with the Great One that should be more important than it is. Because for once the Doctor is actually afraid of something. This should be a holy shit moment. It isn't. Maybe we're just tired at this point, but it's not the oh shit moment it should be. So he focuses on Sarah's voice. He said, well, don't come any further or you'll die. From radiation poisoning. That's not made immediately apparent. This voice belongs to the Great One, who we don't see. It's another spider. It's the god of the spiders. And we will see it in part 6, but here we don't see it. So, the Great One wants the Doctor's crystal back, because it's special. Because of course it's special. It's a perfect crystal. And the Doctor refuses, and the Great One's like, you don't have a choice to refuse, and she tries to use her powers to influence him, and he either resists it or doesn't. I'm not too sure, because he starts going, no, 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 and then starts walking around in a circle, like marching like a tin soldier. You know? But I couldn't tell if that was the Great One influencing to do it, because she's laughing while she's doing it, or that was the Doctor's way of breaking her influence. It's not really explained which one of the two it is. As I say, it should be a bigger moment than it actually is.
Alas.
Alas, yeah. Back in the retreat, Tommy informs Cho Yi what's happening. He hits the group of being foolish. They are being incredibly foolish. He says to Tommy, fetch the crystal. Alright! Fetch the crystal. Maybe he did get it then off screen. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, by the way, Choyi, are you not surprised? Why are you not surprised to see the change in me? He says, why does change have to be surprising? I want to like this guy, but he's an Asian stereotype.
Yeah. Again, this is England in the 70s, and even today, the mysticism scene of England still has issues with Orientalism.
Yeah. To a lesser degree, thankfully, but they still have issues. So Choyi tries to tell the group that they're being stupid. He gets blasted by a spider. Mike, who helped to summon them, gets blasted by a spider. I guess there were only 4 of them. They only needed 4 hosts, not 5. Kill the spare. I don't know. They don't kill
Honestly,
him.
if you're going to have the spiders take over people's bodies and force them to do things, this would have been the perfect opportunity to have Mike be taken over.
Yeah. But no.
Or, one of the regulars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's the final episode, and you kind of want to have everyone as a team, but it's the final episode, and you have Mike who already betrayed the team.
I think they didn't do that because, spoiler alert, one of the team has already been taken by the spiders.
Oh, joy.
So that was probably why they didn't do it again. They probably felt that was overdoing it a bit. So there is like a well, it's not subtle. It's actually about as subtle as a sledgehammer. The Doctor leaves the cave. He's still frightened of the Great One. He finds Sarah Jane unharmed. She can now teleport. She says that the Queen taught her how to do it, but we know that's a lie. And just as they vanish, in runs Eric and 2R, and they cut their father out of the cocoon and save his life. So he lives. The nihilist actually lives. They emerge back at the village, and Sarah's suddenly in a real hurry to leave. Again, might be hinting at something else, guys. I'm not too sure. And so they head to the retreat in the TARDIS. Choyi might still live just about. The Doctor arrives, blocks Force Lightning with his stone. Tommy actually takes a blast here and doesn't react. He takes it like a champ. They believe it or not, sure, they will actually explain why this happened.
Is it gonna make me miserable?
The explanation is really dumb, yeah. But that's in part 6. And then having built him up for about 4 or 5 episodes, we finally meet Campo, the Abbot.
Another Asian stereotype.
This one's better, though. Because he doesn't talk with an Asian accent,
certainly...
and he's not in yellowface.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's certainly less yellow.
He's not in yellowface, and he speaks with an English accent, not an Oriental one. And in case you think, well, I'm just being unfair because the actor that plays Choyi's got an Oriental accent. No, he hasn't. No, he's putting that on. He's been in other things, but he doesn't have that accent. He's putting on that voice. It's an intentional choice. So the Doctor finally meets Campo, the Abbot. He starts to tell him the story, but then he says, I suspect you already know most of it, Abbot. And have we met before? We might have done. Tommy, meanwhile, is holding the door, going against Barnes and the other men. They go to pick him up and move him. He's too strong. So they just blast him all at once for a cliffhanger. Again, he takes this like an absolute trooper. And next is part 6. Mercifully, part 6. So, weirdly enough, they edit back in some footage that we didn't see at the end of part 5 before the cliffhanger resolves at the start of part 6. This was originally in part 5. It was cut. And then realised, oh no, we don't have enough runtime for part 5. We better put it, part 6, sorry. We better put it back in there. And this cut footage shows what happened to the crystal. Campo had it all along.
Okay.
He had it in his hand the whole time. He said that Tommy gave it to him. Now having said, spoiled that Choyi says, give the Abbot the crystal, that's less egregious, because they actually hint at it. And then what's going on? What's going on with Sarah? Oh, she's shooting the Doctor with lightning. Surprise! She's been taken over.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane, there's something on your back.
Well, yep. Talk about another episode that uses egregious yellow face.
What, turn left?
Yeah. Okay, not yellow face, but certainly Orientalist.
Do you mean the fortune teller?
Yeah, the fortune teller.
No, she's Asian.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was misremembering. Orientalist bullshit.
Orientalist bullshit, yes, but Chippo Chug is of Asian extraction, so I don't think that's yellow face.
I misremembered, my bad.
It's okay. But,
It happened.
Yeah, again, that story is a lot better than this. Even with that. Turn left is kind of crazy. Where are we up to now, then? Yeah, so Sarah demands to have the crystal because the Queen's controlling her. They try to get Sarah to fight back against the Queen. Queen's too strong. Until Sarah focuses on the crystal, and then the Queen can't resist, and she falls off and disappears. She's not actually dead. We don't see her again in the story, but she actually returns in an expanded universe story.
Of course they do.
And then she dies, but she's not dead here. Tommy is still resisting getting shot by lightning. So they get into a circle, hold hands, sort of power up, I guess, like it's an anime. I don't know. And then, you may not remember this, but we actually get a regeneration. Not of the Doctor, but we get a regeneration of Kempo. Because he's a Time Lord.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. And he's actually the abbot, because in part 2, when the Doctor said, what did you see when you saw the crystal? I saw the face of my old teacher. This is the old teacher, who for some reason the Doctor did not recognise at first. And Kempo's also like... Kempo blames the Doctor for everything. It's like, it's your greed that's brought this on. It's your greed when you stole that crystal. Which is a hell of a take. Actually.
Yeah, again, you feel like there's a version of this episode that actually engages with the implications of that.
No.
I mean, why did he even get the crystal for Joe?
Throw away 10-second line, that's all you get. So then they ask, well, is your friend Choki a Time Lord as well? Well, in a sense, in another sense, he doesn't exist. You're like, what? Yeah, he's actually a projection of my inner self. What?
Time Lord bullshit. Except he's not a Time Lord, he went down a different path.
So Choji is the Watcher.
Sure.
He's the equivalent of the Watcher.
Yeah, which does raise several questions regarding what Time Lord society is like that will be ultimately smushed down into the Deadly Assassin.
I do like that they basically just decided to forget that the Watcher existed.
Yeah.
Going forward from Logopolis.
I do like Andrew Hickey's joke back in the day where he did a post on Logopolis where the punchline is the Watcher is the incarnation of the Doctor that exists between the 12th and final incarnation.
So he's the Valiant then. So he's the Valiant then.
Yeah, I do like that joke, but
it's not a bad joke. And anyway, there's only one way to end this. The Doctor has to get the crystal back to the Great One.
The alternative would be the Doctor gets a giant newspaper and starts whacking.
I did wonder why Luther did just start swatting them out on the ground, but hey, he's an idiot. He's an idiot greedy for power. So the Doctor has to return the crystal. Cameron asks him what he's afraid of, and he says, "Well, that encounter with the Great One was pretty damn scary. Again, that should have been a bigger deal, shouldn't it? The Doctor is frightened of something. When is the Doctor in the classic universe ever frightened of something? He's frightened of this." So it's like, yeah, I'll give the crystal to Graham. And what about the radiation decay? Well, I have to go. So he'll leave Sarah behind. She is there to protect Tommy and Campo. It goes very well.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mike is conscious again. They're about to destroy Tommy with this powered up lightning. Mike jumps in front of him and takes the blast. You're meant to think that Mike is dead here. Tommy then runs over to Mike to check on him, and that lets them head into the room. The doctor's got the crystals, like we want the crystal. The doctor just disappears, so then they can't blast him. They hit Campo, who collapses into the chair. The men just leave. There's no consequence of that. So Campo's taken a fatal blast. Mike has taken an apparently fatal blast. Things look extremely bleak. Tommy finds Cho Yi, who we now know is a mental projection, but of course Tommy doesn't know this. Says that Mike's dead, Campo's dead, not quite, take me to Campo. Then we get the regeneration. I was a little bit premature with that. Where Cho Yi disappears, Campo regenerates into Cho Yi. So he was the damn watcher, wasn't he? And we also in this scene get why Mike and Tommy survived the blasts. Tommy's innocence saved him. Mike's compassion saved him. Yeah, and Mike's compassion saved him. Campo doesn't get that luxury because his body is old and it just dies.
Let's just get out of here.
There's a bit where he like, don't, dear friends, please don't, and then dies before his sentence. No, sorry, Cho Yi says, please don't. He vanishes, Campo regenerates, and then Cho Yi, who is Campo, completes the sentence. Don't concern yourselves, I am not dying, I'm merely regenerating. First time that regeneration has been referred to as such on camera, and it's for this guy. It's a choice, and we're not finished with him just yet either.
Yeah, I'm just going to stare out into the distance, hoping that my disassociation will lead me to suddenly appear in a mental state the moment we're done talking about this episode.
We're almost done. First, Lutz's going to get his comeuppance. Because the Doctor is found by Eric and Tuol back on the planet, and they say, the attack worked! The spiders are all dead, come this way, and it hasn't worked. They've obviously been taken over by spiders, because here are the eight legs in their council chamber. They mock the idea that a bunch of two legs could ever defeat them again. That sounds like a racial slur, but it's not. They're no stronger than that of their sheep, mentally wise. Hand over the crystal. I will only return to the Great One, and will you challenge me for it? None of them do. Lupton tries to take it. The spiders stop him, saying, I dare not take it. We dare not take it. They let the Doctor leave. Lupton then basically talks himself into getting killed, saying, I lost my one chance of power because of a spider. You may not use the forbidden word, blast! He's dead!
Again, doesn't he have lightning powers?
Doesn't he have a mental connection to a spider that he can use to kill it? Doesn't he have a shoe he can use to kill it?
Why
Oh,
not?
boy.
For that matter, how are the No. The correct solution to dealing with spiders is leaving them locked in a room to suffocate to death.
Oh, don't remind me of that story. Oh.
Well, apparently my disassociation has failed miserably, so I'm making it everyone's problem.
It clearly did. We are mercifully almost done. Because it's time for the Doctor to confront the Great One again. He's got the crystal. We finally see the Great One. It's just another big spider. It's the god of all the spiders. This one is voiced by Maureen Morris.
It's a spider.
And all of a sudden, a giant fucking spider shows up. Unlike that film, it doesn't make it better.
You know, they say that spiders are the most dangerous creatures in the animal kingdom.
And the Great One's plot is stupid. She wants the crystal to complete a web that will amplify her powers to infinity. We all know where this is going.
Her brain explodes, Doctor Who leaves, and somehow dies.
Well, he dies from a lethal dose of radiation.
Sure.
Because that's the payment for bringing the crystal back. Because in part 5, it's like, if you step any further forward, you will die, Doctor, and this is why. Doesn't explain how the spiders can survive it. Doesn't explain how he thought Sarah Jane could survive it when he thought she was in the cave. Despite knowing this. Anyway, we're off Metebelis III at long last. The mountain just blows up. I don't know if Arach and 2 were anywhere near it. I would like to think that they weren't. The death of the Great One frees all the humans on both planets from the 8 legs. Because, it's a nice, neat solution. It won't end well for the 4 men in the retreat, by the way, because the novelization says they all suffered mental nervous breakdowns.
Again, at least some of them were just there to get peace of mind.
All 4 of them, apart from Lupton. They were there for peace. Did they get it? No. And then we do get a rather iconic regeneration. Which is the reason why this clip is the one thing that's played of this episode. More than anything else.
Yeah, I mean...
The Doctor arrives, he's dying of radiation, he falls out of the TARDIS, collapses onto the floor, and it's obvious that he's dying of radiation. He went back because he had to face his fear. Far more important to do that than just to go on living. Sarah's like, don't die, Doctor, please. And we get the line, a tear, Sarah Jane? Don't cry. Where there's life, there's, and he dies. And then Campo shows up!
Yep. At this point, I'm kind of tempted to just unleash my fury at the rest of y'all and have y'all read Interference, the other Third Doctor regeneration story.
Oh, God, no.
But that's 2 books, and I feel like that would be too cruel.
So Campo shows up as a mental projection, gives the Doctor what he calls a little push, like not a literal physical push, to get the Doctor cells to start regenerating, and it works! And it regenerates! And here is Tom Baker.
Yep.
An iconic Doctor leaves to replace by an iconic Doctor.
Yep. And he won't get a line until the next season.
He won't. And mercifully, we're done.
Yeah, I think we can safely assume that we both did not care for this one.
I don't think we need to really go into that, do we? Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
The pacing's all over the place. The fact that little scenes cut in here and there that just don't need to be there. It could be 2 parts shorter at least, maybe 3 as Sean says.
Yeah,
he deserved better than this.
Literally the final part has its first 5 minutes besides that one cutscene from the previous episode.
Yeah, and another
it happens twice in a row in this story.
Yeah, another opening part has a 2-minute recap that doesn't have any cut footage back in it. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it wasn't very good.
Yep,
it wasn't very good, unfortunately. And Frezno's not here because they're on vacation, but they did request that I leave a space for them so they could talk about their thoughts on this story. Maybe they'll find it more enjoyable than we did. Frezno, what do you have to say?
Who the hell's this weirdo? Alright, let's move over to the couch and we'll talk about the planet of the spiders. Well, what an interesting serial this is. In many ways, it's a little padded. There's definitely some big writers gotta eat moments. First half of part 2, for instance, in which we have a chase over land and sea and air, and ends with just, oh, by the way, he could teleport whenever he wanted. Very silly. Part 4 also spins its wheels just a little bit. That being said, the Doctor's regeneration and the build-up to it is actually really good, it was my greed and lust for knowledge that got us into this mess, and now I had to face my fears and confront my own mortality in order to save the day. Granted, it doesn't really save the day, it's more of a, what am I thinking? It's one of those plots, where it's like, oh, don't do that, I'll do that, oh no, blah. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Feels kind of doctorish in a way, but also, that being said, the regeneration itself, very good. A little understated. It's, no big bombast. Just an old man passes away on the floor after falling down. It's, feels, there's a bit of realism to it in a way. I say, given that an ancient Tibetan Time Lord monk shows up and is like, I'll help him regenerate. Which brings us to that particular elephant in the room. Yeah, you gang said it in the Discord, probably said it in the thing. Ooh, that's a white guy. Those are white guys playing Tibetan monks. Not great. Also, not great and a little underutilized, and also maybe even a bit past was a mistake. The character of Tommy. Just what a strange character. The purpose being, I guess, to keep the crystal away from the baddies for a part, but also it gives him, smarts. And also that line from Sarah Jane, oh, Tommy, you're normal. You're like everyone else. Oof, oof, oof. That's fucked up. Oof, 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 oof. What else? I don't know. You've got Pertwee throwing some dudes around. You've got that cool car chase action, even if it's pointless in the end. You got one last hurrah of unit, even though they're going to show up in robot for one last hurrah. I don't know. It's okay. It occurs to me that this is the last regeneration episode we got to cover on the show. We've covered all of them, haven't we? Did 10th Planet not too long ago. Did War Games ages ago. This. Legopolis Hunter we did. Androzani we obviously did. Colin Baker didn't really get a regeneration until Time in the Ronnie, let's count it, but we did that in the first one. We did the movie, and then we've done every... Ooh, hang on. Haven't done Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. Okay. There's still one regeneration left. Yes. Yes, there is. Okay, Tom Baker's going to sleep now. So that's about time for me to close out my little live from Grand Bank excursion. Sorry it couldn't be outside, but it's been pouring rain here and there today. It's not the greatest, but I had a lovely time at La Festival. You know what? Here, let's close with a snippet from the Festival. You like that? Yeah, that's my Saturday afternoon. Not sitting up with a podcast. The last one, I was like, I'm going to go do the thing. The last one, I was like, I'm going to go walk. And now I'm like, I'm going to go listen to a fucking rock band. All right, Doctor Who Reviews. See you next time. And speaking of next time, what's happening?
Thank you, Frezno. And speaking of it wasn't very good. Sorry, Sean?
Those were some pretty insightful thoughts, Frezno.
Yes, that we don't know of, but I'm sure they were insightful. And speaking of it wasn't very good, I hope I won't be saying that next time, Sean, because it's your pick.
Well, I've decided to give you a historical. Ooh. Specifically, a celebrity historical, in fact.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Richard Nixon stars in The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon.
Why do I get the feeling Lena's going to want to be in this again?
I'm sure Frezno's going to be extremely happy about this one.
I'm extremely happy about this. This is great.
Yeah,
this is like the best use of Richard Nixon in a drama.
I mean, I will argue for some of his other usages in drama, but this is certainly one of his better ones.
The recurring bit where he just comes in with Hails of the Chief is brilliant.
Yeah,
that's
so
brilliant.
Enjoy Richard Nixon in Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, where Doctor Who faces off against... I honestly don't remember who he faces off against, but I'm sure you'll have to.
Now Frezno's smiling at that. Now Frezno's smiling at
All
that.
right.
No, these 2 episodes are excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. Good choice.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, there are a lot of good episodes that you haven't covered yet.
Yeah, it's just the nature of random choice, or people wanting to really torture me with bad episodes.
So, where can we find our lovely people?
You can find those little people on Blue Sky in the links below. Some of us are also on twitch.tv, which Sean isn't, and I have a Twitch account, but I've not used it for like 2 or 3 years other than to watch other people's streams. But that'll be in the links below as well. It's twitch.tv / and then the person's handle. In the world of books, well, we have the author of The Time for the Trees right here.
Yep. I'm also the editor on Back to the 11th Hour, which just had its full volume release, though a physical one should be happening soon.
Yeah.
We've also got the Shadow of the Gallifreyan, featuring stories by myself, Frezno and Liam McTeer. And I just recently posted an article on my personal blog about JMD Mateus' Spider-Man, so that's fun. That ends off a series of blog posts that I worked on about a decade ago, but now just as the concluding entry because I had to add another entry because I was given the opportunity, and that's basically me done with talking about superhero comics in a critical capacity directly.
Okay. You're retiring that, are you, basically?
I'm done writing superheroes. There's nothing left. I'm sorry. I'll talk about stuff in podcasts and bring them up in the context of other things, but in and of themselves, they're done.
It's fair enough. There's so many superheroes now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one that I learned about the other day I didn't know existed in Marvel.
Which one?
8-Ball.
I mean, he's more of a super villain, but yeah, the 8-Ball's delightful.
Well, anti-hero now, but yeah.
Oh, he's anti-hero? Okay.
I think he is. I think he kind of... He was never like an out-and-out super villain. He was more like a thief.
Yeah, he's a gag villain. Like the eyeball. The eye, who's just a giant eyeball for a head.
But the point is, there are more superhero characters that I know exist.
Yep.
And at that point, maybe it's just time to tap out. I don't know.
Yeah, and honestly, Marvel... Like, there's nothing been worth reading at Marvel, or if I'm being... And a lot of DC stuff is fine, I guess.
I don't think I'm going to bother with Doomsday, to be perfectly candid with you.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering with Brand New Day.
Didn't they spoil who that character was that they were? I mean, everyone knew who she was playing, and I won't say it out loud.
Like, they were acting as if, oh, she might be someone else. No, she's clearly that she's clearly that character.
I think they spoiled it in the premiere, actually.
She has a fucking sister.
Again, I think they spoiled who... We're talking about Sadie Sink, the actress Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spoiled it in the damn premiere. So...
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not even a secret. It's literally her character. Like, why keep that a secret? Is everyone just trying to chase after the high of Benedict Cumberbatch played Khan?
Yeah, basically.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, they're not here to plug it, but I know Frezno's been doing some streams. Fields of Mystery is one for sure. I think they're still doing Pokemon Crystal Clear as well.
And Kuchiri, myself, and Lena and Frezno have all been doing podcasts about Kamen Rider Gaim, which we are finally nearing the end of.
Yeah.
I think we have 2 or 3 more podcasts left.
That's coming to the end. Zets is coming to an end.
Yeah.
To be replaced immediately by Kamen Rider Myth.
No, Mike.
Mife.
Yeah, it's pronounced like mice.
Oh.
Because they're mice.
Okay.
It's cats versus mice, so it's Mike.
It's cats versus mice?
Yeah.
I might have to watch that then.
Alright, let Kuchiri know.
No, I didn't say I'd be on the podcast, I just said I might have to watch it. I've been watching Zets and not been on the podcast.
Fair enough.
I'm on too many podcasts.
Yep.
I need a break.
Yeah, Lena, Frezno, and I are, once Kamen Rider Gaim finishes, Lena, Frezno, and I are going to be doing Madoka Magica podcast, which is just going through the entirety of Madoka Magica.
Oh, good luck with that.
5 or 6 months.
Good luck with that.
It's only 5 podcasts. That's followed by a long break before the 6th.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the subject matter. Good luck with that.
Oh god, yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Kind of horrifying. Kind of horrifying. Is Minoka Magica.
Yeah. So,
The
yeah,
film's
that's
good,
despite
the shocking end. Again, I won't spoil it for people, but the film's pretty good.
Yeah.
Rebellion.
And I'm looking forward to the next film, which is coming out in Japan at the end of the month.
Is that going to play off Rebellion? The ending?
Yeah, it's following up the events of Rebellion.
Oh my god, yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah. The trailers have literally been highlighting, yeah, no, this is following off from Rebellion.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The consequences of our actions come to roost.
I can't think of anything else, so I think we can end it off, can't we?
Yep. Say goodnight, Kuchiri. Brain. Fuck! I'm used to being on a podcast with Kuchiri.
Good bit. This is where you tell me it wasn't a bit. You really made a mistake, but either way, it made me laugh. So thank you, Sean, for stepping in at reasonably short notice to do this with me. And I hope Kuchiri's all right.
Yep.
And Frez will then be all right in 2 weeks because you picked Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. They will now be over the moon when they hear this. So will I, because it's really good. But until then, thank you for watching and bye for now.